my channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie and you're watching I'm giving you 70s vibes. Yeah, got my silk shirt, got my aviators on. I mean, this is more 90s, but whatever. Cassette tape earrings. And I'm very excited about this look. And this look is inspired by this very vintage book that I'm going to be reading throughout this vlog. It is 6:15 in the morning right now because I resolved to read this book in the span of one day. So I'm going to be reading a queer classic, something that is absolutely beloved, and that is none other than Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. I also want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video, none other than Literati, who sent me this amazing book. So I'm going to talk to y'all a bit about Literati, and then I'm going to give you an update on this book because I'm on page 67 and I've got thoughts. Literati Book Clubs takes the bookish conversation deeper than it has ever gone before. The book clubs all have different kind of themes and focuses. You have your beach reads, you have your thought-provoking title, you've got heavy-hitting memoirs, and there are 12 book clubs, each of which are spearheaded by an incredible selection of leaders, artists, writers, essentially influential people. So like I said, there are 12 different book clubs to join, and they are run by some very heavy-hitting names, such as Steph Curry, you have Ellen Hildebrand, you have Roxane Gay, you have Malala, Kelly McGonigal, Jesmyn Ward, and more. In addition to all of this goodness, Literati offers standard and premium options, allowing you to select whichever serves you best. Selecting the standard option allows reviewers to BYOB, bring your own book, and access all of the book clubs in the app. But should you decide to #treat yourself and go with the premium option, one book will be delivered to you each month. You get app access and a monthly payment option. Members are also able to purchase Literati books for up to 60% off the original price. And so each of these book clubs has a theme. These authors have picked a theme, a central topic that these book clubs center, and every single month you receive a box, has a book that kind of centers around that theme, as well as some goodies. One of the coolest things about Literati though is they have this app that is definitely going to change the way that you read. I am already super excited to tell you about this app because it's unlike anything that I have ever used before as a reader. So my username on the app is bowtiesandbooks, and I would love it if you followed me and interacted with me because I'm going to be using this app moving forward and participating in the Literati Book Club. I ended up joining Malala's book club specifically because Malala is a Nobel Prize laureate that I had not heard of, and I was very tempted to join Jesmyn Ward or Roxane Gay's. I wanted to join a club run by an individual whose perspective I didn't already know. So before I get into Malala's club and Tipping the Velvet and what that is about, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this app. So downloading it is super easy. It is the Literati app. You get to select a photo as well as a username. It has resources for you to learn more about the book and then ongoing discussions for you to participate for each section of the book. So currently I'm on part 1 of Tipping the Velvet, and you can go in there and talk with other people who are also on part 1. So you get actual interactive content as you read. It's essentially like getting to buddy read with a bunch of people at your own pace. And I've just never seen an app like this before, so I was really excited. It's a really good place to have discussions about the book either as you're reading or when you finish it, which is the part of the app that I like the most because essentially why I started a booktube was so that I could get more in depth with my reads and interact with other readers in the book community. I just feel like this club gives you so much more out of your reading experience than simply sending you a book. This club comes with an app that you can use for free to interact with people on the book that you're reading this month. And also you get access to back catalog that's on this app, so you can access discussions from previous months. So definitely download the app and join me on it because I would like to have some friends there. I'm lonely, y'all. Give me some company. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that you don't have to stay in the book club that you pick. You can jump around. So if you want to be in Malala's book club one month and then Roxane Gay's the next, you can do that at no cost to you, which is pretty freaking cool. The theme of Malala's book club, the topic that her books center around, is fearless. And the books that she selects for her club are ones that are supposed to show you new perspectives on life, which is what I'm all freaking about. I want to get into the box for June. In every single box, you get mini package from the operator of your book club. And inside is this book guide to the book that you're reading. Like, I've literally never seen this in a book club box. So on the back of it, it has some information for you before you start to read. It says, this story provides a tour of the music halls of Victorian England. What types of live performances have you missed the most during the pandemic? And then you can see the answers from other people in your book club in the Literati app, which is freaking cool. In the pamphlet, you get more information about the author, and then you have about the story, the themes and topics that the story centers around, and then you get some more information for you to think about after you finish the book moving forward. I love this quote on the back that says, I know that this ain't wrong what we do, only that the world says it is, which is so indicative of queerness. Now I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the story. Also, just like this cover is the bee's freaking knees. Cover though. Nancy, aka Nan Astley, is an oyster girl from a small seaside town who spends most of her free time inside the vibrant music halls of late 1890s England. Over the course of a season at the local theater, she becomes enamored with a masher, a young woman who performs as a man named Kitty Butler. Before long, Nan escapes to London with Kitty, leaving all she's ever known behind in Whitstable. In London, Nan journeys with Kitty through the music halls of a lush and vibrant Victorian England, exploring the labyrinthine city and her passionate feelings for her stage partner. But she also begins to fear what will happen when everyone in her new life, especially Kitty, learns about her true feelings. You also get a really cool note from the owner of your book club, in my case, Malala. And finally, you get this kind of placard that will help you keep some key dates in mind as you read your book. So like June 1 is when the conversation starts. June 15th is when the next monthly picks get released. And then June 17th is your deadline to switch clubs or skip your membership to the next month, which you can do right from the app itself. It's just really freaking cool. It is so interactive and well thought out. I think it's pretty dope. I was really geeked out when they reached out to me because I hadn't heard of Literati before. I also hadn't heard of this book before. And like I said, I'm on page 67 and I am loving it. I am really, really, truly enjoying this book. I was a little nervous at first because I was like, okay, it came out in 1998. Is it going to be dry and dusty and crusty? But it feels, even though the author does a really good job of like selling the idea that we are in 1890s London, it still doesn't feel like dry writing. You know what I'm saying? It has so much spark. I'm already in love with Nan and Kitty, and I'm getting some mutual crushing vibes, and I really hope that, you know, her feelings are requited. All of that being said, I am going to make myself some breakfast. I'm going to continue reading this book, and I will check in with y'all in a little bit. This book is making me crave oysters. So I'm thinking for lunch of going to have some oysters and keep reading this book. So we will see if I end up doing that though. I have concluded part 1 of Tipping the Velvet. Whew. This book got so steamy, flustered, like a really sweet steamy, like a cute, adorable steam. You know what I'm saying? It's not like 3rd degree burns, but it's giving 2nd degree burns, and I'm here for it. It is just so sweet and beautiful, and it still hasn't lost its excitement. But part 1, the ending of part 1 tore my heart out of my chest. I didn't know that I had one. Because I'm still so enamored with the writing. It is giving me Dostoevsky, but fun. It is giving me that glamorous Victorian era London. This book reminds me so much of Water for Elephants, but make it Sapphic, water for elephants, but make it gay. Yes, honey. It is so good. I really love the writing. It is fast-paced and captivating, but it also puts you right at the center. It's like every moment in this book, I feel as if these things are happening to me. I feel as if I'm the one falling in love with Kitty. I feel as if I'm the one who is in these music halls and just getting so sucked into this lifestyle. And the atmosphere of this book is incredible. This is one of the most atmospheric books I have ever read in my life. And comment down below if you're an atmospheric reader too, because look, if you can sell me a good atmosphere, I'm yours. I just am yours. And even though this is a long book, it is 472 pages. I feel like I'm flying through it. And I don't even think I would have heard of this book if not for joining Malala's club. It's just great. And it makes me want to dig deeper into queer classics, especially female queer classics. And also I'm learning so much about music halls. I didn't even know that these were a thing. I suppose it did somewhere in the back of my mind, but just hearing about all of the glitz and the glamour, and that is my thing. Y'all know that I'm a huge vintage fan. This book is making me want to revive my vintage channel. So I wanted to kind of show off some things that I hauled recently at one of my favorite local indie stores. The first couple things that I got were these really cool candles. I have been writing my booty off. I have been writing so much. I'm working on a story and it is just my heart and soul. I'm putting so much of myself into it. And the first candle that I got to kind of inspire me to keep by my side as I'm typing away is this beautiful James Baldwin candle modeled after The Fire Next Time. I had to get myself the Frida Kahlo. I have a Frida Kahlo mug that is just my heart and soul. And now I have a candle so I can write and light this candle and read. I decided to get Ian McEwan's Saturday. Many of you will know Ian McEwan as the author of Atonement, one of the most incredible books that I've read. I ended up gifting my copy to a friend. I got this for $2 at my local bookstore and I was quite pleased about that. And then I picked up The Dragons, the Giant, the Women. It is the memoir of Wyatt Tumor. For those of you who remember me raving about She Would Be King earlier this year, I think I read it in February for Blackathon. One of my new favorite books of all time, just peak Black spirituality. And this is the memoir of that author, which I just can't wait to read. And then who used to be my favorite author before Akwaeke Emezi's work became a thing, Victor Laval, whose work I still love to this day. I picked up The Ecstatic by Victor Laval. I'm very excited about this. Like, what a cover. I cannot wait. I'm going into this not knowing what this is about, but Victor is a horror speculative fiction author and he is increíble. He wrote The Changeling, he wrote The Ballad of Black Tom, he wrote the Destroyer comic, and then I also picked up The Big Machine by him. And I really like this cover. Let me know what y'all think of this cover. Actually, let me know what you think of this cover too. I'm going to be taking Akasha on a walk. If it stops raining, we will of course rollerblade. I have gotten so into rollerblading as of late. It is my pride and joy, and Akasha loves it. She's obsessed with the blades. Okay, it means a lot to her. I'm really glad I'm enjoying this book because I was so nervous to have to say that I didn't like that, like I wasn't enjoying this book in a video that Literati was sponsoring. So fingers crossed that I continue to enjoy this because y'all know I'm nothing but honest. Fingers crossed that it doesn't take a turn and I don't have to roast it. Definitely going to do some salmon for dinner. I picked up this salmon on a cedar plank and I'm going to season it with my favorite poultry seasoning, and I'm thinking of like having some kale and maybe watching that roller derby documentary on Netflix that I have been wanting to get into, and I will check in with y'all later. You're gonna be in the vlog, Akasha. Yes! I love you and you'll never cheat on me. No, you won't. No, you won't. I'll send you back to the pound. Yes, I will. I'll drive you all the way back. Yes! Good girl, like a sugar girl. This book is breaking my heart, my soul. I am so upset. I'm so upset. There's a character I want to fight. I want to fight her. I want to fight her. I'm so upset. I'm so mad. I just want to kick her. You know, maybe both shins. I just want to kick her in the shins. I want to fight her so bad.
1 hour later.
I still want to fight her. I want to fight her. I feel like a fool. I feel like Boo Boo the Fool. I feel like Krusty the Clown. It is now evening. Fast forward to when I'm sorry, oh my gosh, I'm so flustered I cannot even speak. Remember when I sat in front of this camera and confidently proclaimed that this book was steamy? I was wrong. I said it was 2nd degree burns. Is there a 4th degree burn? Where are the firemen? Where are they? Call them. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. Sarah Waters, what are you doing to me? I have never been more grateful for the color of my skin so that y'all can't see me blushing. This smile. Okay, you see these cheekbones popping? I don't have highlight on. There's no contour. There's only this book. I'm no longer going to be contouring. I'm just going to read passages from this book and let this book carve the contours into my face. Oh, this took a turn. There's some intense sex worker rep. We love to see it. Was not expecting that. Part two took a turn. And I can't say anything about the twist because I feel like it's just gonna spoil the whole book. But I didn't see it coming. It got real naughty. I thought the first part was naughty. That was the warm-up. That was the introduction. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that Nan is coming out of her shell. The oysters are definitely used as a metaphor for vaginas. And I'm never gonna look at an oyster the same way again. I'm never gonna be able to eat an oyster in public ever again. I'm gonna be eating them in shame under my sheets. Wow, this book, she did that. And in 1998, she did that. She said, I'm gonna write the book that I want to write. And this was her debut novel. I am shook. Okay, I want her fan fiction. Literati chose well. And it's funny because I've been talking to my queer friends over on Bookstagram, and I don't even know why I specified queer friends because almost all of my friends are queer. That's like the baseline for my friendships. And they were like, yeah, Jessie, everybody's read this book but you. Everybody knows about this classic book.
Well, not me, okay? Nobody told me.
It is homophobic that y'all kept this book from me, I swear. How has nobody on BookTube spoken about this book? So we're still giving beautiful writing, beautiful atmosphere. This book has taken a really dark emotional turn that has reminded me of my dark emotional times in a good way because it feels so relatable. Like the way that this author writes about grief and pain and heartache and longing and lust and excitement and joy, just the way that she writes these emotions, they jump out of the page at you and curl around your heart. They become one with your heartbeat. That is the only way that I can describe this book. Her writing is impeccable. It makes me want to run out and buy all of her other books. She has 3 times been shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize, twice a finalist for the Orange Prize, and was named one of Granta's best young British novelists, among other distinctions. And I just had to know. I looked her up. She is queer. She's very queer.
Okay, and that explained a lot.
That explains a lot. Leaves you with a sense of dread, but also anticipation. It is so good. I cannot believe that I'm flying through this book so quickly. But gosh, it is so good. Not me just like flipping it open and just reading it on camera. Not that. Of course, it is raining. It is a dreary, rainy day, and that is part of why I have been flying through this book, because it has extra atmosphere. I've been listening to the If Beale Street Could Talk play soundtrack. Not me being incapable of speech because of this book. This book has rendered me speechless, speechless, speechless. Okay, and usually in my vlogs, for those of you who don't know, I just started my rollerblading journey and it has been a blast. I've gone blading 3 times, and every time I've gone, it has been like 2 hours. So I'm putting in really good work, and I take Akasha with me, my puppy, and so I have to control her and myself as a novice rollerblader, and I have a backpack on my back while I'm blading because I have water for her and like my Bluetooth speaker so I can listen to my audiobooks. And so it just means that I feel like I'm getting good really fast. Not that I'm good, like, let's be honest. I did my first 360 turn a couple days ago, and it felt so good. It was really invigorating. So I'm going to put a clip in of that, and I'm just going to continue reading. If I get to finish this book tonight, you know, I'm sorry if this vlog is a little boring, but just like this book itself is just going to carry the vlog as far as I am concerned. And yeah, but I will check in with you very soon. So I stopped filming and just have been sitting here amongst my messy book pile, reading. Just reading. It is not comfortable where I'm sitting. It's actually not bad. I can't tell if it's not bad or if it's just that I'm so obsessed with this book it doesn't matter. I cannot believe how good this book is and that I haven't heard of it. I'm shook. So I should probably get up and go to the couch, but I just don't want to move. And I might not. I live here now. Okay, this is getting pathetic. I'm going to go to the reading, to the porch to read. No. Where's the dog? Where's the dog? Where's the dog? Akasha! Akasha! Then! Come get me, Akasha! Come get me, Akasha! 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 Hi! Akasha! 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 Okay, so my next Literati box came. So let's open it. Just look how beautiful. Okay. I'm obsessed. I love this quote. It's beautiful. I love that all of their boxes have quotes on the inside. And the first thing that I get to see is this bookmark that says, "Literature is where I go to explore the highest and lowest places in human society and in the human spirit, where I hope to find not absolute truth, but the truth of the tale and of the imagination, and of the heart." That is beautiful. Oh my God, this is so cool. This is freaking, I'm obsessed with this bookmark. That is so sick. And then they always include this cool, fancy pamphlet folder thingy. What is this called, y'all? Help me. And then here's some information about the app, which I've already talked about and I'm obsessed with. I wish more book clubs did this because this is freaking cool. And then the book guides and a note, the author's note. This is going to be the July book. I have been really wanting to get into this author, and I feel like for once the book club stamp doesn't look wild, you know? And it's actually a pretty short read, but I am so freaking excited. I've been really wanting to read some work from Pakistani authors, so very much looking forward to this one. That's our little peek into the July box. Puffy. You're a puffy puppy. You're just a puffy. Yeah, you're just a puff. A puff pup. You're a powdered puff pup. I have finished tipping the velvet, and I don't think anybody's surprised to find that this It's getting 5 out of 5 stars from me, but you might be surprised to learn that this is now one of my new favorite books of all time.
It's really good.
The hype is real. Even though I didn't know about the hype is real. It is really good. There's a movie adaptation that I definitely want to watch. So in 2018, the author talked about some of the problematic aspects of it with queer representation, and some of her just criticisms for her own book and what she would change now, 30 years later, which I think is really self-aware and very cool. I agreed with the author's criticisms. I really respect that she was willing to have that level of introspection and share that with us. I feel like I've gabbed about this book enough. Literati, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much for sending me this book, for putting this book in my path, because this is a book that I really wish I had had access to when I was a kid. This is like one of those books that I think would have truly changed my life. It lets you know that queerness has always existed and that there is rich queer histories in every city, in every country, no matter how swept under the rug those histories are. And I think I needed to know and see that as a kid. And I think I still need to know and see that as an adult. So I really want to dedicate myself to reading more queer classic canon. It's like a re-education, right? It's the queer education, the queer historical context that so many of us have never gotten. Join me on the Literati app. My username is bowtiesandbooks. And I will leave all of the information about Literati linked in the description box below. I am so freaking stoked for y'all to check out this club. And if you read this book, please come talk to me about it. DM me. Let's discuss. Comment on this video. Reach out to me on Goodreads, whatever, but I want people to talk about this book with. So if you liked this video and you want more content from me, please follow me on my Instagram, which is bowtiesandbooks, but all of my social media links will be in the description box below. If you made it this far in the video, why don't you comment down below with that circus tent emoji? This is what tent means to me, apparently. There's a circus tent emoji, right? Okay, if there's not, just type the word circus. This means typing. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one.